Good afternoon, Jacks and Jills. I am SirDimwi, and this is 3-Minute Meta. In this installment, we're going to talk about your initial attack vectors. Your initial attack vector is effectively the point at which you're intending to first engage your opponent. This decision is made on both offense and defense, whether it is done consciously or incidentally. On offense, it is pretty straightforward. Your scheme determines your attack vector. Protect puts the attack vector into your backfield, neutral puts it at mid, and aggressive puts it on the other side of mid. However, on defense, what determines your initial attack vector is where you first intend to attack the disc. In one variation of a 2-on-1 scheme, you might run an aggressive stack where the chain regrabs at full tilt, intending to sack the quarterback or otherwise cause an immediate disruption. This sets the initial attack vector in the opposing team's backfield, as the chain is intending to first engage with the disc in the hands of the quarterback shortly after launch. However, an alternative variation may be running a passive chain where your stack players stop at double diamonds and wait for the quarterback to make the first pass before striking. In this variation, your initial attack vector is more likely at mid, where that first pass is likely to end up. Whether you are on offense or defense, every time you pick a play, you are identifying a zone as your initial attack vector. And so with this in mind, the question you should be asking is why? Why are you choosing that attack vector? One of the first considerations you should make in answering this question is attack vector compatibility. When the offense and defense choose the same zone as their attack vectors, these are compatible. When the offense and defense choose different zones as their attack vectors, these are incompatible. The compatibility of initial attack vectors is not a judgment of desirability. No given pair is inherently good or bad for your team in any given situation. But when picking a play, you should be conscious of how it might break down given different compatibilities. If you're intending to run a standard split, in what ways do any given defensive coverages affect the execution of that play? That's really what this is about. How does X play stack up against Y defensive coverage? But there are so many small variations in each scheme from play to play and team to team on both offense and defense that we can simplify and look for tendencies. A protect scheme will not always break down the same way under the same compatibilities, but it may tend to break down in similar ways under the same compatibility. You ultimately want to be able to identify which compatibilities are best and worst for your team, but also which compatibilities are best and worst for the other team. This is the first step in playing that proverbial game of chess. It doesn't matter how strong your queen is if you don't have a strategy within which to use her. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching. This is my first scripted episodic series here on YouTube, and the response to it has been amazing. Every bit of feedback you can give me is greatly appreciated, and of course, if you have any ideas for future 3-minute metas, or if you have any other comments or questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. But that's it for this installment of 3-Minute Meta. I've been SirDimwi. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.